Lisa Eldridge just came out with a summer collection called Desert Gleam. This collection includes an eyeshadow palette and 3 lipsticks, and I have most of those items. And what is so exciting about this palette is that Lisa said that this is her most intense shimmer formula. And y'all know that I love an intense sparkly eye look. I also really enjoy the Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow formula, especially her liquid lurex shadows. So let's swatch these products and see how intense we can get with our eye looks. So first, of course, we have to swatch the eyeshadow palette. Here's what the outer packaging looks like. It's exactly the same as their other 6-pan palettes. You have the palette name and the shade names on the back, as well as little pinholes that allow you to poke out each eyeshadow pan. And these pans are also magnetic, so they can be removed with a makeup magnet as well. I personally feel like the packaging feels luxe. I honestly haven't tried a whole lot of luxury eyeshadow, but I really like this presentation. I also like that all the pans are the same sizes so that you can kind of take them out and move them around. And here's what the inside of the palette looks like. This is a beautiful, grungy summer into fall color story. You get 6 shadows, with 3 being mattes and 3 being shimmers. Something that I thought was really cool to learn is that Lisa said that these shimmers are the most intense ones that she's ever had in a palette. I think by now you know that I really enjoy a dramatic eye look. So unsurprisingly, I was very excited for the shimmers in this palette. Here is what those shimmers look like on my fingertips. You get a beautiful kind of yellow gold. And then that middle shade is a really unique kind of iridescent leaning gold. And then the third one is more of a neutral gold. Here is what those shades look like swatched on the back of my hand. I'm just doing 1 swipe swatches just so that you can see how intense the payoff is. Something that I really enjoy about the formula from Lisa Eldridge is that it's very approachable to a wide range of skin types. And that's something that Lisa also says when she talks about her eyeshadows. She wants them to be approachable and beginner friendly, and to also be able to work on mature skin. Hopefully you can see some of the differences between those first 2 shades. That second shade I think of as a little bit more of a topper. I think it's beautiful layered over other shimmers on its own, and even as a brow bone and inner corner highlight. And that third shade, that yellow gold, is so striking. Honestly, on first impression, I thought these shimmers looked so beautiful. Here's what the whole palette looks like swatched to my arm. You can see that the mattes have this sort of soft velvety texture, and they're so easy to work with in my opinion. I also really love how deep that brown matte goes. Though personally, I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of use out of that lighter matte. It's a little bit too light as a transition shade. Just for the sake of comparison, I want to show you some of the other shimmers from Lisa Eldridge. The Betty palette was the first palette that really kind of took the shimmers to the next level. Originally, she said this palette was limited edition, but there's been such a demand for it to come back that she did say it's restocking. I think these shimmers are really pretty, but I do think that the ones in the Desert Gleam palette are even more intense and foiled. And then I thought I would also show you in comparison what the liquid lurex shadows look like swatched. Now the shimmer in these ones is so incredible. I know I've definitely mentioned this formula in several other of my videos, and it really is because they make beautiful one and done shades, and they really are loaded with sparkle. And here's what the 5 shimmer shades that I own in the liquid lurex formula look like swatched on the back of my hand. All of the labels are from left to right. My favorite shade is that deep charcoal one called Liza. Okay, for my first look, I'm going to do a simple halo eye. I'm going to go in with the shade called Sahara, which is sort of like a lighter to mid-toned khaki green. And I'm just trying to build up a few layers in order to get my desired intensity. And then I just took a fluffier brush and blended around the edges. And I just had a feeling that this more iridescent leaning gold would match so well with that khaki green. Now, I do think that I should have put a glitter primer first. I didn't get fallout too bad, but I did get a little bit. And it's a little bit more of a sparkly topper, so I would recommend using a glitter primer. I personally prefer applying shimmers with my fingertips, so that's what I do most of the time. But I've seen that these shimmers do work well with a brush as well. And because this look is a little bit softer, I decided to go in with this more kind of lighter toned nude shade. This is called Toasted, and on me, I think this is a beautiful nude. I like it even without a lip liner. And this is the lighter of the two brown lipsticks that's available in this collection. This shade is described as a true milky tea neutral beige. This is her cream lipstick formula, and it feels very light on the skin, but not overly creamy so that it doesn't feel like it's slipping and sliding. And here is my completed first look. Honestly, I really love how it came out, and it is a softer look, but these shimmers are really special. And here's a close-up of that eye look. I honestly think this might be my favorite of the three shimmers. Okay, for my second look, I knew I wanted to do something darker, more dramatic, a little bit smokier. I started off with that deepest matte. This is the shade called Arcadia, and what I wanted to do is show you how buildable this formula is. Like, I went in several times. You can get just a wash of pigment if that's what you want, but if you keep building, you can really get a high opacity. And I do think that's part of what makes this formula so beginner friendly. So I went in several times to build up that pigment. I'm a full opacity girly through and through. And with a smaller brush, I'm putting that same shade Arcadia all over the lower lash line and connecting it to the outer corner. And now I'm going to go in with that really intense yellow gold called Firefly. Here's what it looks like on my fingertip. And again, just patting it on, I am going to go in with a few layers because I want to see how intense I can get it. And just like with the matte formula, you can wear these shimmers as more of a sheer wash, or you can really build them up. I think this gold is very striking. There definitely isn't another one like it in the Lisa Eldridge lineup. And then I wanted to use that shimmer Cressida as an inner corner and a brow bone highlight because, as I mentioned before, it's a beautiful highlighting shade. And I wanted to go ahead and try on the more bolder red lipstick with this look. This is the shade called Lily. This is a really unique tone of red. It's described as a dirty, spicy, chili red, and I think that's a perfect description for this shade. Here's what it looks like all by itself on the lips. And then I wanted to show what it looks like in macro. This is actually what the refill components look like. And I love that Lisa Eldridge does this because that means the refills cost about half of what it costs to get the lipstick with the outer component. This is definitely a really unique tone of red, not one that I've seen before. It's got a hint of orange in it. And I did like what it looks like all on its own, but I wanted to go ahead and also add a lip liner to just give it a little bit more definition. So I'm going in with this brown lip liner from Izamaya. This is definitely a lipstick that I think I prefer as a combo rather than a standalone shade. Here's what it looks like with the lip liner. This is my second completed look. It's definitely giving warm summer nights. And here's closer up so you can see that shimmer a little bit better. Okay, for this last look, I'm going to play around with these shimmers and just layer them for a mixed metal situation. So I went ahead and put on a glitter primer, and then I went in with the shade called Firefly, and I just went ahead and put it right into the middle of the lid. Sometimes it's just a lot of fun to layer your shimmers in all different types of ways to see what you get. And then I went in with that neutral gold shimmer called Ablaze, and I just put it on either side of Firefly. I just wanted to see if I could add a little bit of dimension to the look, and then I couldn't help but go in with that lighter shimmer Cressida. It's such an interesting topper shade. I've never seen a tone of gold quite like this, and I used it to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner as well. I think you can tell I like this shimmer. It's super versatile. I used it in every single look. On the lower lash line, I'm putting that deeper brown matte. It's called Acacia. I think I accidentally said Arcadia before. And for my lipstick, I'm going to go in again with Toasted, but this time I lined my lips first with a cool tone brown liner just to see what it looked like as a combo. I think I actually do like this just ever so slightly more than what it looks like on its own, although I did actually like it on its own. And here's the third completed look. I know you could combine these shimmers in even more ways, but from a makeup lover who really likes an intense shimmer, I hope you're able to appreciate what this palette is giving. And here's a close-up of that third eye look just so you can appreciate those shimmers. Alright y'all, I had a lot of fun playing around with this collection. I'm not a stranger when it comes to Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows. I definitely agree with what Lisa Eldridge said when she said this is her most intense shimmer formula in a palette. I definitely think this collection is giving summer into fall vibes. I do think it's not going to be for everyone, especially if you don't like wearing gold eyeshadow, but personally I think it's a great addition to the Lisa Eldridge lineup. And in case you're curious, this is going to be a part of the permanent collection, so if you'd like to pick it up but not right now, then you definitely will be able to. Let us know in the comments what you think of this collection. As always, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.